Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us today on the Solutions Pod. In today's episode, we'll be talking to one of the only producers of organic tofu in the Eastern United States and finding out if eating organic really matters. This episode is sponsored by NatureHub.com, a platform and community designed to make it easier for us to live out our conscious consumer choices for the betterment of our planet, communities, and health. I'm your host, J Harvey Lewis, the co-founder of NatureHub, broadcasting from Taiwan, joined today by Kat Doe, the content strategist at NatureHub, who's in St. Petersburg, Russia, and our special guest today, Wen Raiti, who is the founder of the House of Leaf and Bean in Jacksonville, Florida. Wen, it is so good to have you on today.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Wen. Welcome.
I just want to verify, there hasn't been an earthquake that's tilted the background, right? That's just a background.
Yes.
Okay, good. I know we
very peaceful, but a little bit cold.
Okay, cool. I know there's been a lot of earthquakes around the world, so just making sure. Okay, so I know that you've been working hard to educate people on the principle of let thy food be thy medicine and thy medicine be thy food. So could you tell us a little bit about your story and what inspired your passion for educating people to bring healing to the community through the food that you serve?
Yes. So you want a short version or you wanted a long version?
Maybe somewhere in the middle.
Okay. All right. So it is a personal journey. I often say to all of my customers, when they come by to pick up some organic healthy food, they ask me, how can I be looking like you? I said, well, it's easy. You just eat like me. So that sounds like easy, but it is a journey. Because not like overnight you eat well and then you will be healthy, you will look healthy, or you'll feel healthy. It is a journey. It's a lifestyle that we to commit to or advocate to. So for me, as a CPA, certified public accountant, I used to be very driven, like everybody else, wanted to climbing up the corporate ladder, working very hard. 60 hours per week, it's like normal. And especially sometimes when we have fire drill, we call fire drill means when it's very busy, all of us kind of camp in the office until 2 a.m. So we often, look for, good food to eat, in the real hours. And everything available out there is all those fast food, and junk food out there. Pizza is usually is our best solutions when it is, when you're hungry and there are no other options. Pizza is the best option, right? So after a while, and my body could not take it anymore, but I didn't realize until 2008 when I realized that all of my clothes that in my closet, especially the jeans, that would not be able to fit in anymore. And the reason is that not because I really overweight, but a little bit overweight, but not that much. But it's mainly is the problem with the stomach. So the bloat, even though I hungry, nothing in my belly, but I still feel like bloated, like it's a basketball, in my belly. It's like nothing there, but there is something there. So I did. I eventually went to see doctor. At that year, we went through head to toe all those examinations, testing, and the result came back. There's nothing wrong. Everything is functioning. You're still young. That's what I was told. The doctor sent me back. But then they didn't even have a name for the conditions. They just say you just have a problem with your digestive system. Okay, I came back, but I know that something is not right with my body. I could not even run because the gas in my body just like floating, whole body. I started take control of my health. I started reading a lot of articles, medical journals, anything related to digestions. I would read and read. So I did a lot of trials and failed, and through those articles. To me, anything resonate with me, I would try. But gradually, I started a few things that more resonate with me as a Asian Americans. One is eating fresher and cleaner. Cleaner, I mean, is organic. So I started buying everything that I can find is organic, including meat. And then, like 12 years ago, eating great, getting organic meat, it's very difficult and also very expensive. So I turned to something more, one is more affordable. It's more plant-based proteins, a lot of beans. So for me as a Chinese American, I grew up eating a lot of soy products, which is mainly is tofu and soya milk. I studied to learn to cook tofu dishes, and the more I get into it, the better I feel. And I started teaching, get my family to eat like me, because for me back then it's for the cause, not for the health, but just bump into it that all this change diet and truly improve my health, right? That's from the diet part of it. The other part is that I starting doing more regular exercise that I can do, jogging or yoga or other things that I can do rather than running, because I used to run a lot, but because my condition, I could not run anymore. The other thing is that I also stress management. I prioritize. Instead of working a lot like in the past, I slow down a little bit. I started doing meditation. All these three things I've been doing over years not only improve my health, but also I didn't even realize that it's all the basket is already gone in my belly. I didn't even realize until 2015. I went back to see doctor. He did a similar examination. He came back to me. He said, I don't know what you have been doing, but regardless of what you've been doing, just keep doing it. Just right now, you just look like your 20s. I said, okay, I'm taking it. So because of that conversation, it triggered me to look back what I have been doing. It's and help me to recover or help me to reverse the condition. It is three things. Pretty much, in summary, it's lifestyle, regular exercise, and eating cleaner. In my case, is plant-based and organic. And then the other one is stress management. Means for me, I doing regular, meditations. So this is three things I've been doing. So I said to myself, I learned something about health. I can save a lot of people. I can help a lot of people suffering out there, like me in the past. 50 million people in US suffering IBS. Can you imagine that? I said, I would like to show them, there is a light at the end of tunnel. That's how I created House of Living Being, because I want to share with my community, with the world, not only save their life, but also save Mother Earth. Because I think everybody can do our part. Eat one plant-based meal a day, we can change the world. So that's the mission as a House of Living Being, to make simple, fresh, and organic meals that heal. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I think what stood out to me is that you said that eating organic and doing this lifestyle was actually partially to save money, which I think a lot of people, when they think organic, they think, oh, how am I going to pay for that? So how did that work out where it's actually saving you money?
Well, because you don't buy the expensive meat, right? Just for example, right? One block of tofu is organic and freshly made in our cafe. It's 14 ounce and it costs $350. Saying 14 ounce, if you buy the steak, beef, right? Even it's not organic, you just go to the grocery store, same size, same weight. It could be your $20, right? But if it's even it's organic beef, then it would be even more expensive. It could be $30, $50, same size, same weight, right? So that's why I say here, if you eat organic, you especially plant-based protein, it's the same amount of protein you can get from the plant, and the same amount of protein from the animal. The cost, it could be 10 times, it could be 20 times different.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I myself am a tofu addict, so if you could tell us a little bit more about your tofu production, what it is exactly, because a lot of people are not sure still.
Yes,
And
a lot of people have a misconception about tofu too. Most specifically, it's about the estrogen. Even some of a medical doctor, they spread the same message. So what I wanted to say to those people, or whoever that is, the estrogen from soy is it's called plant-based or plant estrogen. It's very different from the estrogen from the animals that we eat, the meat that we eat. And actually, the estrogen from the animal more close to our human, us, estrogen. More like mimicking, mimic the estrogen in our body, if we consume them. But then, I'm not so sure in Russia, but in America, a lot of dairy industries, they hire some scientists, did the research on soy, using a couple of people to, as an example, eating soy like crazily, every day. Consumption of the soy protein, it's over normal. So that person, after 3 months, they grow boobs, whatever that they claim for. But I say it's true to everything, right? No matter what we do, what we eat, if you overdo, you will have a side effect. No matter how beautiful a flower is, and then on the other side, it is the ugly part of it, right? Same thing for soy. So I also said to those people that has misinformation, I said, just look at people in Asia. 3,000 years, we all been consuming soy and soy products. Do you see a lot of fat and overweight Asian people out there? Do you see a lot of breast cancers among Asian women? And that's just that's the fact all of us can see. They said, well, because we have different genes. I said, okay, even if we have different genes, right? But we are human beings. We are reacting to the same estrogen, same elements, in soil or in animals. Right? So that's something that we are battling from. The other thing you asked me about the production. Production is very simple. So we purchased the beans. Soybean is dry. We soak the bean the night before, so usually 8 to 12 hours. And after that, we have a machine. We grind the bean into soya milk. So once the soya milk is produced, we will use a steamer. So steamer is not, like you have water, the steam. It's the water is in the two, what do you call that? You have the the container. The steamer is very interesting. So the milk does not have a direct contact with the water. Water is inside the tube. I'm not so sure I explained it clear enough. To make sure that the soya milk is pure enough, no contact with other stuff. So after you steam the milk until your boiling point, and then we put the coagulant. So coagulant will coat up all those proteins. So once the protein coated up, and then we use a air pressure machine to press the the soya milk into beef block tofu. So
Mhm.
the beef block tofu, and then we can cut in all different shape. So in our
Mhm.
cafe, we cut it in small blocks for your retail, and then we cut it in 9x9 shape to make our vegan gluten-free pizza.
Mhm.
And then of course we use the tofu for other dishes too, like tofu egg salad, vegan meatball. Of course, we do our vegan dumplings, use tofu, mushroom, and kale. It's been very, very popular. We also use our tofu to replace beef for our vegan chili. Now it's
Mhm.
cold, so everybody wants to eat some vegan chili.
What are your most popular dishes? Tofu with tofu or without it? Just or maybe your favorite ones.
My favorite one is always is a barbecue tofu. So we call it Mongolian vegan beef. Yeah, it's the best, and it's a same recipe.
Well, did we just lose connection?
No, I can still hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. So this is really interesting to me because I had actually secretly,
Mhm.
I'd been avoiding eating a lot of tofu because I had heard the reports, oh, well, the phytoestrogens can mimic estrogen, so men should probably not have so much. And I looked into it and it did seem to be maybe an exaggeration. And I also saw some reports that on the, contrary, it could actually be good for women, like, for example,
Good.
women undergoing menopause. But
Mm.
I was myself not eating so much of it, but I guess that does make sense that a estrogen molecule from a cow is going to fit into the human receptors a lot more easily than estrogen from a plant.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm kind of curious on the aspect of organic food. So I think a lot of people, they look at that organic carrot and they look at the typically grown carrot or soy product like tofu at the store, and they
Mhm.
just they have a hard time justifying the extra costs that they're seeing there. And
Yeah.
you mentioned that was part of your healing process, and I'm kind of curious why you think that organic is actually important for people to consider.
Yes. So for two reasons. One is the fertilizers. So fertilizers damage our land, our soil. The second is the pesticides. So like you give example to carrots, right? Organically grow, usually smaller, and then a lot of the buds eating, not really good looking. If it's conventional, it's beautiful and big and large. So the reason I say I will recommend organic, so that when we eat the carrot, we eating something that directly from Mother Earth, rather than we we put a lot of chemicals to make that grow faster and quicker and more productions. It's unnatural. Not only not good for our body, but also not good for our Mother Earth. I'm not so sure. Have you seen bee farmer? When they grow like corns and other products that have mass production, and like strawberry and blueberry, and they use helicopter to spray the pesticides. All those chemicals stay on the leaves and the fruits, and then when we consume them, we don't even realize that we feeding ourselves all those poison.
Yeah, and I recently got to drive across the US, and there are just vast stretches that all you see is corn, soy, wheat, and all of those three things are sprayed heavily with glyphosate. And I think soy is something that a lot of people avoid because it's hard to find organic soy, and they know that conventionally grown soy is usually genetically modified. And um, I think with the genetic modifications, it makes it so that the farmers can spray more pesticides and they don't have to worry about hurting the plant. But then, how much of that pesticide is getting into the final product? And for me, I wonder, okay, I had some of the IBS symptoms that you were describing and other symptoms also. I went to the doctor too. So I kind of had a similar story. Blood tests, fine, just go live your life. You're doing fine.
Right.
But, I wasn't feeling good. And I kind of wonder how much of that was just the fact that I was getting like micro dosed with toxins every day. So
yes, yeah, exactly. That's why I say eating cleaner foods here is very different or much better for our body, because we are not feeding ourselves with all those chemicals that we don't know or we cannot even pronounce.
What about you, Wen? What is your typical menu for the day for breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Or maybe you could share some tips for people who would like to eat cleaner and eat healthier.
Yeah, I can give you some examples, every day, where I eat my 3 meals, right? So my breakfast, I usually have nuts. So I get my protein from all different nuts. I have sunflower seeds, peanuts, sesame seeds, and then cacao nuts, cacao from South America. It's very good, has a lot of magnesium. And then other nuts wherever they're in my pantries. But that would be just my breakfast protein. And then I will sometimes add some sweet potatoes, or different, especially when it's seasonal. I will have a different shape and different color of sweet potatoes to come to eat with my nuts. And then of course I usually drink tea. We work with organic farmer in China. So all our teas are mainly from their farm, or organic tea leaves. So I would depends on the weather. Like today, it's cold. I just had we call it immune booster tea. So it is a tea blend, all organic herbs and tea leaves. It has oolong tea, calendula, chamomile, turmeric, and ginger. Just so delicious. It makes my breakfast very pleasant. So that's a breakfast I usually would eat. And then lunch is usually at the cafe, and our chef will mix all those things that we would not be able to to sell. So a lot of seasonal vegetables. So he will usually mix whatever the vegetable we have that day, and then some tofu and some chickpeas, and sometimes he will put some of black beans, and of course it's minimum fat and low sodium. We complement with that some of our spicy seasonings, like turmeric, cayenne pepper, and curry powder. All those kind of course, ginger is always in our food, and then some rice. So this is our usual lunch, and then dinner very light. So we usually, sometimes at home, sometimes I still working in the cafe, and I would maybe some soya milk or just some fruits. So that's my 3 meals. Because we work in a cafe, and then we often create something new, and then we share it. Especially we have a lot of creative staff. They like to try something new, and then they look up on the internet. They say, "Hey, this is a really good vegan recipe. Let's try." And then we have all the ingredients. So we often try new things during the day.
That's really interesting. I never heard of anybody having nuts for breakfast. I usually have them on dinners. Maybe I should try them on breakfast as well. You mentioned that you have an organic Chinese tea producer in China. So where are you sourcing your ingredients mostly? Are you sourcing them from organic producers in the United States as well, or you're moving that direction?
Yes, actually, I am this advocate and supporter for our organic farmers because
Mhm.
I truly believe in that. If we have more demand for them, and then more farmers will grow organic, so then we can protect our Mother Earth, right? Uh, so what I do is that I want to make sure that everything I buy has the certified organic the seal. I cannot vet every suppliers that we work with. For the Chinese farmer, I could because I have access. I have family there, and my husband has a office there. They have staff. So we went to visit the farm multiple times in a year to we understand what they do and talk to them and uh, make friends with them. So we trust them what they do, especially the farmer is 75 years old. And when you talk to him and you understand why he stay in that area, it's a mountain area. 90s, everybody in China is about mass production, and the government handed out the fertilizers to every farmer, but he refused to use because he knows how to protect his land. That's simple. So when you talk to him and you understand, no way this is fake, right? And then you look at the land and look at his vision for his land, and you know that. So we are very comfortable, and also we feel very honored that we can help and support his operations. So that's why we work with them every year. Whenever he's harvest, he will send up some samples, and then we buy from him every year. So that's for the tea. And then from the other ingredients in US, we work with UMFI. It's our wholesale organic, mainly it's organic wholesaler in US. They also have some other, conventional, but it's mainly focused on organic and non-GMO products.
That's very cool. So I'm kind of curious. I know there's a lot of restaurant owners right now that are struggling, to figure out how to, how to get through COVID, and they might think, well, maybe I could start doing some more organic, but it's too expensive, or like for the restaurant owners that are watching this, like what advice do you have, like to I guess create more demand for people, or like what was your I guess approach for because I don't know, Jacksonville is sort of in this, like, I guess they're a little bit more conscious than a lot of other parts of Florida, but it's also not the most conscious city in Florida at all. So like some of that has to be, I guess, coming directly from you and how you
Mhm.
approach it.
Yes, exactly. But that's why we approach is subtle. We work with doctors. We work with like-minded people in the community. So we are growing our community. So especially in the first couple of years, we receive a lot of people's support. Like sometimes we don't even know their names, and they just like, for example, Mother's Day, they would drop off a flower and they just give to our staff. They just say, I just wanted to say thank you for what you guys doing here. And right now it's COVID-19. 50% of our customers are regulars. And every time they drive by, we have drive through. They often said to us, and we really appreciate you are still here. And then they also do their part, social media to help to promote our products. So it is a community effort, and here what we are doing if you guys have an opportunity, we can give you a virtual tour at the cafe, and you will see that we have a lot of reading information, about how to help to cure your not cure, I mean to help to recover your heart problems, obesity, diabetes, IBS, all those digestive system related issues. but it's just a material. We are not just say, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's very subtle. Let them to read and let them to decide. And then when you're there in the cafe, we provide the best food and best drink for them. Like for example, the tea that we created, like we right now we call it immune booster tea, and it help people, especially people that who had the digestive system issues, who cleansing their guts. So when they drink, they can feel the difference. All of us, regardless of how your age or your health conditions, our body can tell ourselves what is good. It's very simple. If you eat one piece of pizza, right? It is like first couple minutes you had that pressure eating it because of that food addiction, right? Give us, drug give us a high. But after that 2 minutes, you feel miserable because you feel thirsty and then you feel bloated and whole day you're not feeling well.
Yeah,
so that's what we are trying to do.
And just for people out there who are thinking, well, I eat pizza all the time and I've never noticed anything bad happening. Well, like for me, it took me a long time to realize that like my reaction to eating like, I guess the, hyper processed wheats, it didn't actually hit me for sometimes like 24, 36 hours. And then I'd feel terrible. And, so this, a lot of times, like we're creating these problems over a long period of time. And it takes like completely resetting our diet and creating the conditions for healing to take place in our body. It's not that like these foods can, like, it's not like a magic bullet that you take this and then you're healed. It's like, no, you create the conditions that promote that healing within your body, because our bodies are designed to be able to heal themselves.
Right. Well, that's why I say journey, right? I didn't say you overnight you will cure yourself, because like you said, grew up eating, time for our body to reset, to recondition, and especially I said detox and cleansing up all those bad stuff, and then our body can act or functioning normally. Yeah, and you asked me how I would advise other restaurant owners or restaurant operators should do what we do. It is very difficult, especially in this COVID-19 time, and because it's very difficult to make money for many reasons. And I just name a few. One is the demand. So our demand is not like everybody realize that this is good for us. This is something we need to get into it. And then the second is our country, the culture is not there. When we're talking about COVID-19, immune, strengthen our immune system, we are not talking about the lifestyle or food. We're talking about the cure, the medicine, right? We're talking about the vaccine. Our leaders, as a country, not telling our citizens, hey, you are staying at home, please, eat healthier, please, to make food for your family rather than going, drive down to the fast food, eating, the fried chickens, right? Like Kentucky, like Chick-fil-A or Zaxby's, wherever it is. So this is the culture. It's really high, a steep hill that we have to climb. The last part is that, and like you say, a lot of people have misconception about organic food is very expensive, but of course expensive in terms of meat, like meat protein. Then the last part is that a lot of people, they have, I would say not a lot, actually the majority of our population believe that they need protein to survive. And the only protein they can survive is meat protein. So all this is misinformed and misconceptions that are out there. So that's what make, when you are in business, you need to make money, right? All these obstacles, the difficulty, those barriers, it's very hard for them to jump over. But my suggestion is that, if we all keep doing it, like you, Justin and Kate, we are from different part of globe. we are doing it. I think the more people will come aboard. We just need to be patient, keep doing it, not stop. And until one day, just thinking about it, I know social okay, Madonna, 60 years ago, they created Madonna and changed Americans' life. We become fatter, sicker. But if we wanted to change that, it might take us another 60 years to reverse that trend. So I am working on it. Maybe one day people will look for leaf and bean instead of a Madonna. Right? When they are
Hopefully.
driving on the highway.
Well, you still have a drive-through, so
Yeah.
that's a start. So I really appreciate your efforts to bring America back to healthy eating and hopefully the whole world. So what's next for Leaf and Bean? Are you planning to release a recipe book or to expand to another location or adapt your menu for completely plant-based, for example?
Yes, I would say all above. We need to grow the team. We need to have a more like-minded people that dedicated, committed. I also need investors. So I do not wanted to invest any investor. I wanted to have the investors who are like-minded, who wanted to do similar things that we are doing right now, rather than you're just looking at the bottom line, because we all know that right now the bottom line is not very good. So that's what we are doing. And that's on the other hand, over this past 4 years, we figure out how to make vegan food more efficiently, not so expensive, as it more affordable. So we are trying to sell our package our vegan products to wholesalers and then grocery stores, especially in who are like more like organic grocery stores.
So can people? Oh, sorry to interrupt. So can people find your products on the grocery store shelves and anywhere yet?
Yes, indeed. Actually, 3 of them in Jacksonville area: to Native Sun, Grassroots, and NASA health food stores.
That's awesome.
They are locally operated.
And are you thinking about turning the Leaf and Bean into a franchise?
I would not want to say it's a franchise, because the franchise seems to me all corporate and everything centralized. I don't like the idea. I would like to have localized, because I would like them to use local, fresh, organic, ingredients, especially support the local, farmers, organic farmers. So I would say, we can maybe license would be better name for it, or maybe just partnership. So each operator is a partner of the whole operations, rather than franchise everything decision making in the corporate.
Yeah, that's very cool. I'm excited to see where this goes. Especially, I like the fact that you let the staff at your restaurants experiment. I think that's like a really cool thing, and being able to utilize the seasonal foods that are growing in the area is really important too. So on your website, I'm seeing that you normally have events. I guess obviously with COVID, those aren't really possible, but can you just talk a little bit about some of the guided meditation sessions and the Chinese tea ceremonies and kind of some of the things that you're doing in the community on, typically?
Yes, we used to have events always full in the month. This is another venue for us to introduce and educate community. The 2 events you mentioned, it has been very popular in the past, but right now we are not doing it. We only reserve for the private parties. The tea ceremony, we usually do it in our Zen room. Zen, Z-E-N, is a Japanese word, means meditation. We created that room for our customers to experience peacefulness and tranquility. In that room, we designed for meditation. Have a little library. It's a free library. People can read a book and bring home a book back. So it's totally free and no restrictions. Then we also have meditation. In the past, every Thursday we have a volunteer teacher teach free guided meditations called heartfulness. So you meditate through your heart, right? Not through your brain, through your heart. And then so since COVID, so we have not had that meditation, but we still encourage our customers to use that room for that purpose. And sometimes I think I tell my customers, I say, you just need maybe 5 minutes, just sit still, do nothing, right? Close your eyes and attach everything in your life. That moment, that 5 minutes, just for you. Listen to your body, listen to your heart, and that will help to distress. So that's the room that we designed for our customers, for the community. And then sometimes we have retired scientists to have a meeting in that room. And it's very interesting. They do meditation, they teach about science and meditation. There's a lot of events that we host. It's more related to spiritual health and physical body health, nutrition, and of course like lifestyle medicine related event.
Yeah, sounds fantastic. Have you been thinking about Zoom meditation sessions, for example, for those of us who are not in Florida even?
Glad you asked. Actually, we are thinking, I have been asking the teacher to do it, but he has not been able to get to it. I guess some technical issues that he has to overcome.
Well, if you do, just let us know. I'm sure we'll be happy to join you.
Yeah, and we'll share the link too. Speaking of, I guess the other ways to meet, how can people out there find you on the internet? Do you have like an Instagram or Facebook or a website?
Yes, we do. We do have a Facebook. I believe it's if you search House Leaf and Bean, logo will show up, and then it's us. So we have, I believe it's a Leaf and Bean House. That was the Facebook name. And then we also have Instagram, I believe is Leaf and Bean Jacks. And both has our logo on it.
Okay, and what is your website?
Website is www.houseofleafandbean. N is Nancy.com. Houseofleafandbean.com.
Okay, well, that's awesome. Everybody go and check that out. And I hope that we can have another conversation in the near future. I'm really excited to meet you, and I love what you're doing in Jacksonville. And I hope that you make it into all the other grocery stores in the area.
And in the whole country too. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks,
Wen. That was very interesting.